Romania's current president, Nicușor Dan, recently made a statement, "Talk less, do more," meaning less talk and more action. This is now clearly being seen on the ground. For the past 3 years, Western military aid to Ukraine has been delivered almost entirely through a single vulnerable logistics corridor via Jasionka Airport, located near the city of Rzeszów in Poland, just 80 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. This is not a single road or track, but a major transit hub through which 80 to 90% of Western military aid reached Ukraine by truck, rail, and air. This entire area operated under NATO's NSATU mission. Through this same NSATU mission, more than 220,000 tons of military aid were successfully delivered to Ukraine in 2025, including 9,000 trucks, 1,800 rail wagons, and over 500 strategic airlift flights. It was this supply that enabled Ukraine to hold back Russia. However, this very transit point has always been an easy target for Russian drone and missile attacks, and it has been attacked multiple times. Keeping these threats in mind, NATO has now prepared its second-largest strategic logistics base in Romania. Specifically, this base is located at Baza 71 Aeriană, General Emanoil Ionescu, in Romania, and its official name is Logistics Enabling Node. This base is also being developed under NATO's NSATU mission. Through this base, the transit of artillery, air defense systems, and electronic warfare (EW) equipment to Ukraine will become much easier and faster. At the same time, it creates a strong southern route, which will accelerate supplies to the Donbas and coastal front lines and significantly reduce dependence on Poland. This base is bringing a decisive change to the war because Ukraine now has a multi-route and unbreakable supply network that Russia cannot realistically hope to disrupt. The base is expected to become fully operational by the end of January 2026. This was confirmed by Major General Mike Keller, Deputy Commander of NATO's Security Assistance and Training for Ukraine mission. He stated that this base will also operate directly under NATO command, functioning in the same way as the Rzeszów Jasionka hub in Poland. Once operational, this Romanian hub will be fully integrated into NATO's Security Assistance and Training for Ukraine system and will help rapidly deliver supplies from donor countries to Ukraine's urgent military needs, such as artillery, air defense systems, and electronic warfare equipment. It is being reported that this new Romanian hub will significantly increase both the volume and speed of military supplies reaching Ukrainian forces. In any war, the supply chain is critically important. So far, Ukraine has suffered heavy losses on several occasions due to delays in weapons deliveries. However, with increased transit capacity, uninterrupted weapon supply will now be possible, preventing the operational disruptions that have previously occurred because of delays. Especially after the attack over Putin's residence, Russia may carry out even more aggressive strikes against Ukraine. In such a situation, Ukraine will urgently need air defense missiles, artillery shells, anti-tank systems, and deep strike capabilities. In addition, U.S. weapons purchased with European funding will reach Ukraine more quickly, allowing the high-intensity war to continue without exhausting reserves or putting soldiers' lives at risk due to a lack of essential equipment. This base can completely change the course of the Russia-Ukraine war. Until now, the Rzeszów Jasionka corridor in Poland remained under constant Russian threat. Russia could strike there at any time and create major disruptions in the supply chain. However, with the new base established in Romania, it will now function as a strong backup supply line. Even if Russia were to attack the Rzeszów Jasionka base tomorrow, weapon supplies to Ukraine could continue immediately with the help of this new Romanian hub. It creates a secure and flexible supply chain for NATO's eastern flank. This diversification prevents supply interruptions in Ukraine's rear areas and forces Russia to spread its attacks across multiple routes. Where saturation attacks on a single corridor were once effective, divided attacks will now significantly reduce their effectiveness, even if Ukraine redistributes its air defenses. In addition, tracking weapon supplies will become more difficult for Russia, deliveries will be faster, and Russia's intelligence capabilities will be weakened. As a result, assistance will remain continuous despite hybrid threats or any escalation, and Ukraine's long-term sustainability in a prolonged war will increase substantially. Geographically, this base is extremely advantageous for Ukraine's eastern and southern fronts. Supplies coming through Romania can reach these critical areas more directly and rapidly, strengthening defenses against Russian advances in the south. This positions Romania as a rear fortress capable of quickly reinforcing coastal areas and the Donbas sector, where Ukraine consistently requires artillery and air defense support. This base can completely change the course of the Russia-Ukraine war. Until now, the Rzeszów considered this a major strategic shift, one that strengthens Ukrainian operations in high-stakes areas and completely changes the dynamics of the front line. This new massive military logistics base in Romania clearly demonstrates NATO's strong intent and will work to deter Russia from launching major strikes. It further reinforces the alliance's collective defense and will also serve as a training ground for NATO personnel in handling supply chains during a real ongoing war. Amid rising tensions in the Black Sea and ongoing airspace issues, this solid base highlights Romania's crucial role in supporting Ukraine, raises the geopolitical stakes, and strengthens Western resolve. In your opinion, will this base prove to be a strategic turning point in the Russia-Ukraine war? Let us know in the comments. And what is so special about this small area of Ukraine that has prevented Russia from advancing beyond this line? We will discuss this in detail in the next video. Now we will use map animations to explain such topics even more clearly and easily. Thank you for watching the full video.